Well, Virat Kohli has very interestingly said. Now, this is a thing that we keep doing. Right? We keep talking about how it's sort of musical chairs. It's a bit of a revolving door with Indian teams. They tell you before the 50-over World Cup that that's our team, and then the guy who's number 4 disappears, and then a new guy comes, and there he goes, and then somebody else. So things keep happening. This is what Virat Kohli said with the T20 World Cup coming up in about 8 or 10 months. This is what he had to say about the current composition of the team going forward.
T20 is a format where you experiment a lot more things than ODI and Test cricket. And I think from that point of view, you take a lot more risk in terms of what you want as a team. You want to give chance to youngsters in the past. That's happened predominantly in T20 cricket a lot. For us, it's about figuring out who are the players that can make a transition into international cricket firstly. So this is a good format to see them. I think our combination is getting stronger and stronger. We'll probably be playing as close to the 11 that we want in the World Cup as possible for the remainder of the T20 games that we have leading into the World Cup.
These are the players who've been there and thereabouts for the last 10-12 months. Let's have a look at those players and see they just sort of disappeared. Now, I don't know whether they're going to come back, whether it is this squad of 15. Here, there's Krunal Pandya. I was really surprised that he's not been picked. He's been pretty much a mainstay for, the last year and a half. There's Krunal Pandya. There you go. 18 matches, 14 wickets. He's got an economic rate. We've got Khalil. Surprised? You guys can just jump in wherever you want.
Yeah, I think a little bit surprised about Krunal. Khalil, perhaps not. There's probably other guys that have taken over from him. Just a little bit on that occasion.
Rahul
Chahar. There's enough leg spin options. I think there's enough spin bowling options now with Jadeja back, with Washington Sundar. Dinesh Karthik was seen as the finisher. He's now looks like he's on the outer.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like he did anything wrong, right? DK has sort of got, he sort of caught the World Cup guillotine just squarely on his neck.
Mm. Yeah, also I feel again that when they were looking at him, they were looking at him for 2019.
Yeah.
I think long term again they're not looking at Karthik into 1.5 years away what his fitness would be. I don't think I'm not completely sure that Krunal Pandya is out of the mix.
Yeah.
Okay, my sense is that over these 3 series they're going to try all these guys one after the other. They're going to try all these guys because really you can't say Rahul.
Sorry, I want to ask you one question about before we move on from Krunal. We were doing a man-to-man of Andre Russell, Jason Holder, Brathwaite. If you did a man-to-man of Krunal and Ravindra Jadeja, sort of both the same.
I think Krunal, Ravindra Jadeja, and somewhere Washington Sundar comes in base because in Australia you're not going to be playing more than one spinning all-rounder. I mean, chances of playing 2 are high, very low, very low.
The grounds are bigger. You want two genuine spinners, I think, and I think if you're going to play an all-rounder, he needs to be a seam bowling all-rounder. So that's where your Hardik Pandya comes into play, and he comes back into the mix, or Shivam Dubey, if that's the way they want to go. But I think you can afford to play 2 genuine spinners at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, at the new Perth Stadium.
Virat also said he'd choose to make them both wrist spinners.
Yep.
He'd choose to play 2 wrist spinners in every game in Australia.
And I don't mind that. The other thing is 26 or 27 T20 internationals between now and that World Cup. Plus, all of these guys, all of the top Indian players get 14 IPL games. So there's 41 games available if you want to press your case and if they want to see. I think they've had a look at guys. They've had a look at enough guys in the past. This is more akin to the team. Virat Kohli's back. Apart from Shikhar Dhawan and Bumrah, with Hardik injured, basically these are the guys that are fighting out that 20 World Cup squad.
But I think the only one of these guys who I feel is genuinely probably not going to be in consideration is Dinesh Karthik. I think all the others are still in the process of trying. Some may be higher, some may be lower. But I don't think they're completely out of it as yet. And something would bring him. Because see, I'll tell you, Virat loves having a left-handed bowler in the mix. Now Khalil hasn't delivered for him. But he knows that I'd like to have the option of having a left-handed bowler in the mix. So all those things, I don't think any of these guys are eliminated. Karthik, I just think maybe they looked at him for the World Cup and said, okay, that's it. Now we're moving on.
The curious case
Benjamin
of Sanju Samson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, close enough. The curious case of Sanju Samson. Didn't play any game in the last series, was dropped,
but he
then brought back in because Dhawan got injured. Will he play?
There's a match in Trivandrum.
He should play.
Look,
if I'm going to go down the road that we just talked about, they know everything they need to know about KL Rahul.
Exactly.
Everything they need to know. They know how he plays, who he's good against, what he does.
Wow.
They know everything about him. They don't know about Sanju Samson at the international level just yet. So give them that chance, because you need a backup keeper. But if your backup keeper is also your backup 1, 2, 3 batsman, that is massive. That's so
much
so
backup.
good. Well, it's brilliant because he's 2 players in one.
Yeah.
And so he becomes a vital cog. Or do they just say to KL Rahul, well, you're going to have to keep?
Yeah, you're the backup keeper.
You're the backup keeper. And then he has to prove that he's good enough to keep in a game to 2 wrist spinners.
2 wrist spinners, yeah.
And that is the issue. T20 World Cup, you imagine Rishabh Pant rolling in semi-final of the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And KL has got to keep to 2 wrist spinners. He's not good enough.
Yeah.
He's not good enough to do that and do it well in a T20 game where one nick, one mis-stumping might cost you the game. You need a proper keeper. They've got to find out whether Sanju Samson is good enough.
This is the time to try him.
Yeah.
No,
Are they not trying him because Rishabh Pant is pretty much also not solidified his spot?
Look, you can't play one for the other. And the fact of it is that if anyone tells you that I'm not going to put somebody in the 11 so as to not put pressure on Y, then that Y doesn't deserve to be in the Indian team. Being in the Indian team is all about pressure. You have to. If you can't play through pressure, you can't do it. So you have to do it. So my sense is they'll definitely, I think the next 2 matches, they have to give him a chance. And you can't give a guy one chance. Because that's simply unfair. I mean, Rahul Chahar, 1 match in the West Indies, and then, why did you, I mean, you probably played him because, at that particular point in circumstances, you didn't have the players. But I think it's unfair on him. And now, given that Kuldeep and Chahal are back in the mix, I don't see, barring injury, Rahul Chahar being there at all.